Let's see. The British Heavyweight Championship. Zack Sabre Jr. defends the title against Hiroshi Tanahashi, which will be another great match. Another story of two completely different styles. While Sabre is one of the best technical wrestlers in the world, and this isn't meant to be a knock on him. You do know, yeah, I did, I did shave. Yeah, that was kind of a change that came about because I got tired of it at the moment, but also my lady told me I looked like a little boy when I first shaved, so a little bit of a mixed reaction. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, Chris. I hope you're well. But yeah, two completely different styles. Again, not to knock Zack Sabre, but he predominantly the British style of wrestling, which I love. By the way, I don't know if they have, because I haven't watched NXT UK in a while. Wouldn't it be tremendous if they actually announced like their mid card title being like a title where they wrestle like the World of Sports style? Yeah, I look slick. I miss I miss it. But it'll be very interesting to see how they work together. For Tanahashi's still obviously one of the best wrestlers in Japan, and Zack Sabre Jr. just one of the best wrestlers in the world. Period. Two of the best wrestlers in the world going at it for the British Heavyweight Championship. Tetsuya Naito and Kota Ibushi wrestle for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. That's going to be another great match. Be very interested to see how that one turns out. If I feel like making predictions on a later show, I will do that on a later show. So, but for right now, I'm just running down the cards, and I do have a purpose for this. See, I hate this. First main event, second main event BS. There's one main event. I mean, it's the last match. Double main events just sell extra tickets. Then it just gets you curious of what match is actually going to go on last. And I already know what's going to go on last just based on what I believe the main event of the show to be. It is a three-way ladder match for the World Championship between Jay Lethal, Matt Taven, and Marty Scurll. And by the way, for Marty Scurll, very good for him that he's wrestling for the NWA World Championship and he's wrestling for the Ring of Honor Championship. Since the Bucks and Cody and Kenny had left Japan and Ring of Honor, he's really been doing pretty well for himself outside of the Bullet Club and outside of the Elite. So he's making a name for himself here, and he's putting people on notice. I remember the big thing for All In was, Marty Scurll, generally a junior heavyweight, now moving up to heavyweight and contending against guys like an Okada, which was an awesome match at All In, by the way. If you haven't checked it out, you really should. Very good match. And Matt Taven, obviously making noise, having the gimmick of, the Real World's champion for a little bit, and Jay Lethal being the face of Ring of Honor for as long as he has. Outside of title losses to Cody and the like. Again, three of the main faces of Ring of Honor right now going at it at G1 Supercard for the World Championship. Definitely something to be looked at. A ladder match, nonetheless, at Madison Square Garden. I have to keep emphasizing at Madison Square Garden. It's just that important. To me, it's just that important. And the match that I believe will close out the show, which will then be the main event of the show, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship being defended in Madison Square Garden. Jay White defending the title against the Rainmaker. Okada. Oh my God. When I saw that match was announced, I mean, again, when you knew something big like this was going to happen. It's like this is the state again. Jay White is, while he's really good, very good. now he's going to, I believe, as IWGP champion, he's going to come more into his own as a character. He's been making progress, obviously, beforehand, but now as the champion, I feel, is when we're going to see the best growth of Jay White. That's if he retains the championship at the Garden. But it's Okada, it's the Garden. I believe. Now, my early prediction would be I think Okada takes this match and regains the IWGP Championship. But now you're playing hot potato with one of the more highly recognized championships in pro wrestling, World Championship, Heavyweight Championship, whatever you want to call it. But that stage for someone so young and still learning and yet so good in Jay White and Okada, where the Garden stage was basically tailor-made for a guy like Okada. Again, he's wrestled Tokyo Dome. He's wrestled some of the more prestigious venues in Japan, but it's New York City, and it's Okada. This is the stage where he belongs at, and this is the stage where he's going to be the most comfortable. This is where now it makes or breaks Jay White. So, with that being said, I'm looking forward to the whole show. Now, if you ask me right now, well, hold on, let me get to one more thing really quick. NXT TakeOver New York. Now, this is why I was kind of leading into what I wanted to lead into. You have, for TakeOver New York, which is then the night before of the G1 Supercard, you have Walter taking on Pete Dunne for the United Kingdom title. That's going to be a good match. Again, I like I had stated before, I haven't watched NXT UK really as much as I would like to. I just haven't. But that match by itself, by name value, for those who are the hardcore wrestling fan, is a big deal. Last TakeOver, where the NXT UK Championship was defended, was one of the best matches in this decade in Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. So, am I expecting a match like that? No. But I'm expecting something really good, and I'm expecting Pete Dunne's chest to bleed from Walter's chops. It'll be a good match. War Raiders defending against Aleister Black and Ricochet, the NXT Tag Team Championships. Obviously, Ricochet and Aleister Black, the Dusty Cup winners. Now they get their chance at the War Raiders for the NXT Tag Team Championships at TakeOver New York at the Barclays Center. Another event that should have been at the Garden. Matt Riddle versus the Velveteen Dream for the North American Championship. I will say this with Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle, you look at guys, like, we'll take Ricochet, we'll take Adam Cole, we'll take, but you saw, like, Adam Cole was tailor-made pretty much for the WWE. You look at guys like Aleister Black, he's gotten better with his promos. But Matt Riddle, like, while he was really good, he needed to polish up his microphone skills, and he needed to polish up his in-ring ability. Because it's already there, but it's needed a little bit more polishing. Matt Riddle, I believe, has been the one that has benefited the most so far out of his time in NXT from coming from the Indies. I think he really has. And believe it or not, this match, unlike other Velveteen Dream matches, I'm not looking forward to this one as much, but I'm really interested to see it in the same light how this will turn out. Like, this is two completely different styles. Where Riddle has worked all over the world and trained in worked in different styles, worked in different areas. Where Velveteen Dream has pretty much been tailor-made for the WWE product as well. So, it'll be interesting to see. It's like, I can't believe I'm going to kind of equate this, but you look at Orton when he wrestled in One Night Stand against Kurt Angle. It's an ECW pay-per-view, but with two WWE guys. Angle, I felt, was more he could have adapted to that. Whereas Orton obviously was very bothered. And he couldn't handle himself well. Where Kurt Angle was like, okay, this is great. But, yeah, that was completely way off base. Disregard that. Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane versus Bianca Belair versus Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Championship. That should be really good. I'm interested to see if Baszler drops the belt. With a fatal 4-way, you could still drop the belt to somebody else and make Baszler still look strong. Do they move her up to the main roster after this? Would that be then in direct response to the rumors of Ronda Rousey potentially leaving the WWE after WrestleMania? So that would be very interesting to see. Then Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, 2 out of 3 falls for the vacant NXT Championship. Yet the 3 big shows is that weekend. G1 Supercard, TakeOver, WrestleMania. These are now the 3 biggest shows of the year on, the one big weekend. And I gotta tell you, while NXT TakeOver, I believe, on the card, look, WrestleMania is WrestleMania. Just by the name alone, you're looking forward to the show. Is it a bad card? No, not really. But there are a lot of things that take me, aback by it. And the one thing being, obviously, the choice of having Kurt Angle wrestle Baron Corbin in his farewell match. So, just little things that bug me. But you look at the whole cards side by side. What am I most looking forward to? Historically, I'm looking most forward to the G1 Supercard. Again, it's the whole Madison Square Garden thing. Another company outside of WWE's wrestling. They're putting on a show. The companies. So that's definitely something to look forward to as far as that. I think I'm most looking forward to that card, that event, followed by TakeOver, followed by WrestleMania. Not saying anything against any of those cards in any way, but I'm more excited about the show at the Garden than NXT. I believe both shows will blow WrestleMania out of the water, but we'll see where it goes from there. Because we still have a little time before those shows take place, and now that these shows are going to take place with the cards that they have, I'm just ready to watch it unfold, all of it to unfold. And it's going to be something to behold. It's really, it's going to be probably one of the single greatest weekends in pro wrestling history, just from those 3 cards. Whether WrestleMania amounts to something or not, as the pay-per-view goes on, it's still WrestleMania. But you have the 2 other shows beforehand that are going to be off the charts, and it's going to be events that people are going to be looking forward to and talking to it, and then post-events, they're going to be talking about it for a long time. I can't wait for my Twitter feed to be blowing up for those shows. Just saying. Actually, with that being said, I'm looking forward to end the show for tonight. I'm going to call it a little bit early than I normally do. There's a couple things going on I want to take care of myself, which is also another good reason why Jeballey came on as early as he did. So I'm actually going to call it a night. I really do appreciate Alex Jebailey again for coming on. Let's throw it out there one more time for him. At CEO Jeballey and at CEO Gaming on Twitter. You can follow those accounts on Instagram at CEO Gaming Inc. CEO 2019, June 28th to June 30th in Daytona Beach, Florida. Go to ceogaming.org for more information. And for the wrestling event, it's going to be at the Ocean Center, June 29th. And you can also check out his podcast, Jebodcast. Folks, I really do appreciate you all tuning in and everything of the sort. I'm going to say